Hey YouTube, it's Michael from Asymmetrical Preparedness. So today I'd like to talk about prepper skills. I don't know if you've ever thought about like things such as what should I learn to better my preparedness? What can I do to learn to gain skill in different areas that would be applicable to a SHTF scenario? I got a bunch of ideas here, and I just want to encourage you guys to just pick one and learn what you can about it, or pick two, whatever. Just think about what you're interested in, what kind of might go along with your interests or your abilities or your skills, and just think about what sounds interesting, I guess. Sorry to say that over again, but yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to to always be growing, to be moving forward, to be bettering yourselves and your knowledge, increasing your knowledge base, gaining new skills, learning new things, and helping yourself to be better prepared for the unknown and hard times to come. So with that said, I have a list of a lot of different things. So as you can tell, as you can guess, there's a lot of skills that are applicable to a SHTF scenario. A lot of them are old school type skills, lost skills, not that much in practice anymore, or some of them may be. So with that said, here are some of the things. Edible plant identification in your AO, which is area of operations, where you live. How to identify what you can eat, what berries you grow there, what leaves of what plant that you can eat or you can make tea out of, things that grow on the ground, just anything, any edible plants for your specific area is a really good thing to know about and to learn about, as well as herbalism and natural remedies and natural healing. Because in a grid down scenario, or not grid down necessarily, but SHTF, we're going to eventually run out of our medications and stuff. And so edible or herbal plants and herbal remedies will be the go-to way of life. What people used for thousands of years before we started having modern medicine and stuff like that. So, and I believe that Heavenly Father has placed these things here for us to use. The healing herbs and stuff like that. It's not some wacky hippie thing. It is what Heavenly Father intended. He put the things on this earth that we need to survive and to take care of ourselves. So there's that. Then there's gardening. Of course, we're going to have to produce our own calories. We're going to have to grow our own food. I do not have a green thumb. I suck. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't really suck at gardening. I'm being, fairly successful. I just don't know that much about gardening. I know you put a seed in the ground and you water it and it grows. I'm learning on that. It's definitely one of my weak areas that I would love to learn more about, and I'm working on learning more about it. As you know, no matter how much food storage you have, it will run out. We're going to have to start gardening. You're going to have to hunt. You're going to have to grow and raise animals, because hunting will not last. Depending on how long the event is or the return to normalcy is. So growing your own food, your own vegetables, your own fruit, raising your own animals, that kind of stuff is going to be vital, a vital skill. So with that, you're going to have a way to preserve them. So canning, dehydrating. Learn about canning. What are the different methods? I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything. I know that there's pressure cooker method. I know there's a boiling method. I know there's different kinds of things you have to have. I know you need canning jars, you need the lids with seals that are not reusable, so I suggest stocking lots of those, because you can only use they're single-use items. Any kind of single-use item, stock plenty of. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the camera steady here. Let me shift up here and hold it like this, so it'll be a little more steady for you guys. Really trying not to cover the microphone like I have recently, and to hold the camera steady. So, then we'll go into other things like weapon employment skills, shooting. Building dope charts, which is data on previous engagements, which is for long-range shooting, or not even necessarily long-range shooting, but it's information that you gain based on the bullet type, weight, caliber you're shooting, distance you're shooting, inclination, declination of target, all different kinds of things. Just learning about dope is pretty important. How to zero your firearms is very important. And then the tactical employment of weapon systems is also very important, very useful. I recommend going to some good quality tactical training center. I know there's a lot of them in the United States. I could name a couple off the top of my head, but then, there may be better ones. There's a lot of guys out there that are good at what they do. They know what they're doing. Go to them, receive good quality training if that's what you want to do. If you're, younger person and you're going to be one of the shooters, then those are the skills you need to have. Another one is fire starting. Everything from bow and drill to things like a 9-volt battery and steel wool. And then, Bic lighter, char wood, tinder, all those kind of things associated with fire starting and how to start a fire using nothing but what you have. Even maybe a magnifying glass if it's summertime. Yeah, there's lots of different things you can look up and you can learn about that. It's just one of the skills I was thinking about. Tracking, how to track animals, how to track people, how to recognize signs for anything you might be tracking. Also along with that is evasion techniques. How to evade if somebody's tracking you. How to cover your tracks, how to cover your signs, how to evade capture, stuff like that here. Just one sec, I got to adjust. I'm really trying not to here. If I put it like this. Oh yeah, there we go. That's comfortable and non-shaky. Okay, oops, sorry, of course. Then I took a deep breath and it hit my chest. Survival shelter building. It's a lot of bushcraft stuff here I'm talking about. How to build a shelter from just what appears in nature. That's a good skill to have. I already went over, here's again, tactical skills, infantry skills, any kind of basic skills that a soldier in the field would use. There's a lot of them. I'm not going to cover, all the different little skills. There's a plethora of skills that somebody in a infantry type capacity, boots on the ground, gunslinger would know or would need to know. A lot of the things that I'm going to cover in other topics, so would also fall under that. But rustic cooking over a campfire, how to cook over a campfire, what kind of temperatures, there's a lot of temperature differences. There's a lot of the way you cook is different. Use of cast iron, how to cure a cast iron, how to take care of it, stuff like that. Sewing without a machine, hand sewing, knitting, darning, crocheting, all that stuff. That's going to be vital skills. We're going to have to repair our clothing. First aid and trauma medicine is another really good one, especially if you go into herbalism with that. If you have a medical background already and you don't know much about herbalism or natural remedies, learn about that. That's a great one. How to purify and filter water. That's pretty vital. What are all the different things? Purification tablets, all the different water filtration systems. How can you filter water via things found in nature, say sand or sand between layers of clothing and build a natural filter, a bunch of pine needles, something like to drain your water through and have it filter and come out clean on the other end. And I don't know all there is to know about that. I know a little bit about that kind of stuff. But that's just another thing you could learn. Also, how to find water. Where is water found? If you could see in the picture behind me, there's a lot of water back there. But you can't just drink that. That's Puget Sound. So, hunting skills. It's not just as easy as grabbing a rifle and going out into the woods and shooting a deer. They're hard to get. A lot of times. Sometimes they're easy. Sometimes they're not. Along with that is trapping. Trapping would be very useful, snares, all that kind of stuff in a SHTF type scenario. Let me see. Oh, ham radio, comms, Morse code, all very good ones. Because use of a ham radio, depending on EMP, not EMP, what's out there. Some people have, hardened Faraday cages with their stuff in, so they'll be able to bring it out afterwards. They'll have solar or wind power to charge batteries to be able to use their comms. So comms will still be viable no matter what happens. Learning Morse code is very good, or at least having Morse code book in your stuff, so you can train, even if you don't want to go into learning all there is about comms. At least have some of the comm information in books. A lot of these things in books. Even if you don't have the time to go get all the knowledge, practice all the knowledge, get the stuff associated with these skills, practice them, learn them, all that kind of stuff. At least have some books on them, maybe, so that when stuff goes south, you will have access to the information, and then you might be able to learn from there. It's not the time to learn. I agree, but at least have some of the books to have the knowledge, or to learn the knowledge then if you have to. Another thing is firefighting skills. How are you going to put fires out when SHTF? We're not going to have fire departments. Fire extinguishers are pretty much single-use items. What happens when they run out? How are you going to build fire breaks? How are you going to clear land to make fire breaks? Lots of different skills like that. Animal husbandry, or animal care. How to take care of animals. What their feeding requirements are. What their medical requirements are. Antibiotics. That's all medical. Veterinary stuff goes along with that. Some other things, going back old school, blacksmithing. That would be an awesome skill to learn. With that, bladesmithing, how to make blades. That would be really good. Over old school style forges that will be available no matter what the situation is. Grid down, SHTF, EMP, non-EMP, whatever. Those always will be applied. Also a basic knowledge of mechanics, vehicle mechanics, as well as other kinds of mechanics. Because even if there's an EMP, old vehicles that don't have electronics will still be running. So you'll have to maintain them, you'll have to fix them, all kinds of stuff like that. There'll be lots of spare parts around. Maybe not for the older vehicles though, because those are still being used. Anyway, so food storage, vacuum sealing, how to properly store food for long term. That's all stuff we should all be working on right there. Another thing is edged weapon proficiency. How to use edged weapons, how to fight with a tomahawk, how to fight with a fixed blade knife, even maybe a sword, how to properly employ them, and how to fight with edged weapons. It would be a very valuable skill. Along with that would be martial arts, or some kind of unarmed hand-to-hand combat skills. That would be very good, as you can tell. I already went over medicinal herbs and herbalism, rock climbing, rappelling. You're going to have to go places you don't normally have to go. So things like how to rock climb, how to rappel, how to rig up harnesses, ropes, what kind of ropes to use, what kind of harnesses, the requirements, weight, ratings, all that kind of stuff. Another thing be archery, or bowery, or fletching. In other words, the old school making of bows would be pretty good, because for hunting, I'm not saying for combat application or anything like that, but for hunting, it would be very good. Fletching, how to put the fletches on arrows, how to make arrows, all that kind of, all that kind of stuff associated with archery would be good skills to learn, and it's fun. You can go out practicing getting good at employing a bow as a weapon. Orienteering, mapping, compass work. You have to know where you're going. How are you going to get your bug out location if the roads are blocked? You need to have routes. You need to have maps of your AO and surrounding AOs. Hopefully your state and several surrounding states at least, so you have options where to go when SHTF. Fishing, netting, how to catch fish. That's important. You can have a good source of calories. It's a huge good source of calories. Look at all those calories out there behind me. There's a lot of calories out there. And with that said, desalinization. how to get salt out of water, solar stills. These are all skills that could be useful depending on where you live, of course. Composting, that kind of goes along with gardening. How to compost properly. It's not just about throwing a bunch of stuff in a heap. Gunsmithing. You're going to have somebody repair the guns, fix the guns, modify guns, stuff like that. You're going to have to keep those weapon systems up and running. You're going to need an armorer, basically. And along with that would be a lot of spare parts for common firearms. AR-15s, Glocks, Smith & Wessons, SIGs. You know, there's a lot of different ones, but the big ones, I would recommend having the most common firearm spare parts. Ruger 1022s, you know, Mossberg pump shotguns, stuff like that. Simple things like sharpening blades. How do you sharpen a blade? What kind of edge do you put? What degree, what angle do you put on the blade depending on the purpose of the edged weapon? Or not even an edged weapon, but the blade. Whether it be for flaying, whether it be for chopping wood with an axe. What kind of, you know, edge do you put on an axe versus a flay knife? Big difference. You need to know. Good knowledge to know. Also bartering. What kind of skills do you need for bartering? You know, that's a skill. That's a learned skill. I don't know how you practice it really. I'm sure there's ways to practice it though. I know we always used to barter when we go to Mexico because a lot of them didn't have prices listed, or a lot of other countries that I went to around the world that, you know, they don't have prices listed. You ask them how much, and then they tell you a price, which is way overpriced. So you cut that in half at least and start from there, and then you meet somewhere, you know, a little bit above half usually, depending on the situation. So bartering, if we go to a barter type society, an agrarian society, bartering will be a very valuable skill. So these are just some things I was thinking about, and I just wanted to encourage you guys to learn, to expand your knowledge, to better your chances of survival, and better your chances of taking care of and protecting your family and providing for your family, your tribe, your mag, the people around you, the good people, the community, so that we can rebuild after and survive through SHTF scenario. Whether it be civil war, EMP, foreign invasion, it doesn't matter. You know, basic preparedness is basic preparedness. So yeah, I encourage you guys. I want you guys to get out and do the things. Get your workouts in, exercise, please. That's very important. Do a little bit of prepping every day. I say that in every video, hopefully. Reminding you guys, encouraging you guys, get out and do the things, please. And do this from a happy, fun standpoint. Be morally good and just do the right things. And I just wanted to encourage you guys, and I love you guys. Thank you for coming to the channel. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Comment below, please. And have a nice day. Blessings.